Tired of feeling drained by toxic people? Learn how to navigate challenging interactions with Stoic wisdom and protect your emotional well-being. Toxic people can be a real drag, but you don't have to let them control your emotions. Discover powerful Stoic strategies for handling them effectively and regaining your peace of mind. Let me ask you something we don't talk about enough. Have you ever walked away from someone, drained, anxious, doubting yourself without knowing exactly why? You didn't fight. They didn't yell. But somehow, you felt smaller. That, right there, is the quiet storm of toxic behavior. And if you've ever felt that, you're not weak. You're aware. The truth is, we all meet toxic people in our lives. Sometimes in our workplaces, friendships, even in our own families. But here's the thing. You can't protect your peace until you recognize what's poisoning it. And today, that's exactly what we're going to explore. 1. What is a toxic person? Really? Let's clear something up from the start. Toxic doesn't mean someone you don't like. It doesn't mean someone who disagrees with you, holds you accountable, or gives you tough love. A toxic person is someone who consistently drains, manipulates, belittles, or emotionally destabilizes you without remorse. They don't just make mistakes. They make patterns out of control, guilt, and disrespect. And over time, it's not just your energy that suffers, it's your sense of self. 2. The invisible damage of toxic behavior. Stoics like Seneca and Epictetus warned us about the company we keep, not for moral reasons, but for mental clarity. Seneca wrote, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve." Toxic people do the opposite. They erode your clarity. They chip away at your emotional stability. They infect your internal world with doubt, fear, and guilt. You start questioning your reactions. Am I overreacting? Maybe it's my fault? Maybe I just need to try harder. But here's what's really happening. You're being conditioned to tolerate disrespect. And the longer you stay around toxicity, the more normal dysfunction starts to feel. 3. Healthy conflict versus toxic pattern. Now let's draw a crucial line. Not all conflict is toxic. A friend challenging your blind spots, a partner expressing honest frustration, a boss setting boundaries. That's healthy. Discomfort doesn't equal danger, but repeated patterns of emotional harm do. So how do you know the difference? Look for this. Healthy conflict leads to resolution, clarity, growth. Toxic behavior creates confusion, shame, and cycles of power imbalance. In healthy relationships, problems are addressed. In toxic ones, you become the problem, no matter what the issue is. 4. Signs you may be dealing with toxicity. Here are some patterns to watch for. Chronic blame shifting. They never take accountability. It's always someone else's fault, usually yours. Passive aggression. Instead of communicating directly, they weaponize silence, sarcasm, or guilt. Gaslighting. They make you question your memory, your emotions, your reality. And emotional instability. You're constantly walking on eggshells, unsure of who you'll get today. Control and manipulation. They use affection, approval, or threats to get what they want. It's not always loud. Sometimes it's subtle. But if your peace is slowly eroding, that's your sign. 5. What the Stoics would say about toxic people. So, how do we respond? Stoically. We don't lash out. We don't seek revenge. We don't even need to label others as bad. We simply choose our circle with care and our reactions with discipline. Epictetus said, "Keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." That's not cruelty, that's wisdom. Because your emotional energy is not infinite. Your attention is not free. The people you surround yourself with shape you. So if someone consistently pulls you away from your principles, your calm, your clarity, you are not obligated to stay. Stoicism teaches us to guard our internal world like a fortress, and that includes closing the gate to those who bring chaos. 6. Why naming the pattern sets you free. The moment you clearly define what's happening, something powerful shifts. You stop internalizing the chaos. You stop trying to fix what's not yours to fix. You stop making excuses for behavior that keeps costing you your peace. Awareness is liberation, because once you see it clearly, you can start choosing differently, not with hate, not with drama, but with boundaries, self-respect, and presence. So here's your reflection for today. Are there people in your life who consistently drain your clarity? Have you mistaken emotional manipulation for normal conflict? Are you protecting your peace, or just tolerating pain in disguise? If these questions hit something deep, stay with us. In this series, we're not just learning how to spot toxicity. We're learning how to rise above it with calm, with courage, and with clarity. Subscribe to join a community of grounded thinkers who are reclaiming their space, their voice, and their inner stillness. Because the most powerful thing you can do is not to fight toxic energy, but to stop giving it a home in your life. Let's begin that journey together. Let me ask you something powerful. What if you could face the chaos of life and still remain calm inside? Not because life suddenly got easier, but because you got stronger. That's what resilience really is. Not avoiding the storm, but learning to stand through it, clear, grounded, unshaken. And no philosophy teaches that better than Stoicism. Today, I want to share with you 3 timeless Stoic principles that can help you build a kind of strength the world can't take away. 1. The power of perspective. Focus on what you can control. Let's start here, because this is the foundation of all Stoic thought. The Stoics taught that life is divided into 2 simple categories: the things you can control, the things you absolutely cannot. Most people waste their energy in the second category. They obsess over other people's opinions. They ruminate on the past. They stress about the future. They try to control outcomes that are never really theirs. And in doing so, they surrender their peace. But the Stoics remind us, freedom begins when we shift our focus. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor who ruled during plague and war, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Let that sink in. You may not be able to control what happens around you, but you can always choose your mindset, your attitude, your actions. That's not just empowering. It's liberating, because once you reclaim your attention from the uncontrollable, you stop being a victim of circumstance and start becoming a master of response. 2. Emotional detachment. You are not your reaction. Now let's talk about emotions. We've all been there. Someone says something hurtful. Life throws something unfair your way. You feel the anger rise. The anxiety build, the sadness settle, and in those moments we think, this is just who I am right now. But the Stoics challenge that. They teach us that emotions are signals, not commands. You feel them, but you don't have to obey them. You observe them, but you don't have to become them. Epictetus said, "It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them." Think about that. It's not the event, it's the meaning we attach to it. It's not the person, it's our interpretation of their behavior. Stoic resilience means stepping back, taking a breath, creating space between stimulus and response. Because in that space is where your power lives. So the next time someone triggers you, try this. Instead of reacting, reflect. Instead of exploding, observe. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Or is this just an emotional reflex I don't have to feed? That kind of clarity is rare, and it's life-changing. 3. Radical acceptance. You can't change them, only you. Here's the tough truth that most people resist. You can't control other people, not their opinions, not their behavior, not even their growth. You can influence. You can communicate. You can model better choices. But at the end of the day, they are responsible for them. You are responsible for you. The Stoics understood this deeply. They didn't waste time trying to change others. They spent their energy cultivating their own character. Seneca wrote, "A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not." It doesn't mean you approve of injustice. It means you stop letting it consume you. Because when you accept reality as it is, not as you wish it to be, you free yourself to move forward with purpose and power. Resilience isn't built by fighting everything. It's built by choosing your battles and focusing on what you can actually improve: your response, your choices, your perspective. The Stoic path to inner strength. Put all of this together, and here's what you get. A mind that no longer wastes energy on the uncontrollable. A heart that doesn't collapse with every emotion. A soul that meets life with grace, not resistance. That's Stoic resilience. It's not cold, it's not detached, it's clear. It's calm, it's disciplined peace, and that's something the modern world desperately needs. Because the world will never stop being chaotic. But you don't have to be. You can become the one who stays steady. The one who brings clarity to confusion. The one who walks forward, grounded in values, not shaken by circumstance. So here's your invitation. Start paying attention to where your focus goes. Practice detachment, not from life, but from unnecessary suffering. Accept what you can't change, and double down on what you can. And if this message resonated with you, subscribe to this channel. Because every week, we explore Stoic tools to build the kind of inner strength that lasts, no matter what life throws your way. You don't need to control everything. You just need to master yourself. And when you do, you become unshakable. Let's keep walking this path together. Let's be honest. There's a moment we all face at some point in life. It's that moment when you realize, this person, this relationship, is hurting more than helping. They drain your energy. They push your boundaries, and they leave you feeling like you're constantly walking on emotional eggshells. But what do you do when walking away isn't easy, or even possible? That's where practical Stoic strategies come in. Because the Stoics weren't just thinkers, they were practitioners. They lived in the real world, surrounded by power-hungry emperors, disloyal friends, and moral chaos. And yet, they stayed grounded. How? Let's talk about 3 timeless, actionable strategies to help you protect your peace when dealing with toxic people. 1. Limit exposure. Control what you allow. The first principle is simple but powerful. What you allow into your mind and life shapes your energy. The Stoics knew that proximity matters. Seneca said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." That doesn't mean you cut everyone off at the first red flag. But it does mean this. If someone consistently drains your peace, demeans your worth, or disrespects your space, You have a choice. You may not be able to eliminate them entirely, especially if it's a family member, co-worker, or someone tied to your daily life. But you can limit your exposure. Choose when and how you interact. Keep conversations brief and purposeful. Avoid emotionally charged topics. Delay your responses when you feel triggered. This isn't avoidance. It's self-respect, because not everyone deserves unrestricted access to your attention. Your time is sacred. Your energy is not an unlimited resource. Use it wisely. 2. Set boundaries. Protect without apology. Here's where most people struggle. They feel guilty for saying no. They fear conflict. They think setting boundaries makes them selfish, but the Stoics would disagree. Epictetus taught, "A person should so live that their happiness depends as little as possible on external things. That includes depending on others for approval, especially when those others are causing harm." Boundaries are not about controlling other people. They're about clarifying what you will and will not tolerate. And they only work when they're clear and enforced. So ask yourself, what specific behavior crosses the line for you? How do you plan to respond if it happens again? Can you communicate your boundary calmly but firmly? It might sound like, "I'm not comfortable being spoken to that way. I'll leave this conversation if it continues. I'm available during these hours, but not beyond them. This topic is not something I'm willing to discuss further." No anger. No drama. Just clarity and consistency. Boundaries are like armor for your emotional well-being. The stronger they are, the less life's toxicity gets through. 3. Prioritize self-care. Reclaim your inner ground. Dealing with toxic energy isn't just about defense, it's about rebuilding yourself so you don't lose who you are in the process. The Stoics were masters of inner renewal. They didn't just endure the storms, they trained for them. And that's what self-care really is: mental, emotional, and physical training for resilience. So what does that look like in real life? Meditation. Create space to observe your thoughts without judgment. Journaling. Unpack your emotions on the page before they consume your mind. Movement. Use physical activity to release tension and reset your nervous system. Solitude. Spend time alone, not because you're avoiding, but because you're restoring. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And often, toxic people don't hurt us with their presence, but with the mental space we continue to give them long after they're gone. That's why self-care isn't selfish. It's strategy. It's repair. It's how you return to yourself after being pulled away. 4. Know when to let go and let peace. And here's a hard truth, but one worth hearing. Some relationships are not meant to be saved. Some patterns won't change, no matter how much effort you put in. And your loyalty to someone else should never come at the cost of betrayal to yourself. The Stoics understood this deeply. They didn't attach their happiness to whether someone approved, apologized, or understood them, because true peace doesn't come from controlling the external. It comes from knowing you've done your part, with clarity and courage, and then letting go. Sometimes the most stoic thing you can do is walk away with dignity and silence, not to punish, but to preserve your center. So here's your challenge. Identify one relationship where your peace is consistently disturbed. Ask, have I limited exposure? Have I set a clear boundary? Have I replenished myself lately? And finally ask, what would a Stoic do here? Not from pride, but from wisdom. If this message resonates, don't just watch, act. Subscribe to this channel and join a growing community of grounded individuals who are learning how to protect their peace, Master their mindset and live with deep intention, because your energy is sacred, your time is limited, and your inner world is too important to be shaped by someone else's chaos. Choose wisely, live clearly, and never apologize for protecting your peace. Let me ask you something quietly, but honestly. Who are you still carrying? Maybe it's someone who betrayed your trust. Someone who hurt you with words they can't take back. Or maybe it's you. We all carry wounds. Some loud, some silent. But what if I told you that forgiveness isn't about them? It's about you, your mind, your freedom, your inner peace. Today, I want to talk about forgiveness, not as a favor to the person who hurt you, but as a gift you give to yourself. And more importantly, I want to show you how Stoic wisdom helps us forgive without losing our strength. 1. Forgiveness is not weakness, it's wisdom. Let's get something straight. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It's not pretending the pain didn't happen. And it's certainly not saying what you did was okay. What forgiveness really means is this: I will no longer let what happened control how I live. Because as long as you hold on to that anger, that resentment, that inner dialogue of "they owe me," you're chained to the very thing that hurt you. The Stoics understood this. They taught us not to be ruled by our emotions, but to master them. Seneca wrote, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." Think about that. Your rage might feel justified, but it doesn't make you free. Forgiveness, then, is not an act of surrender. It's an act of liberation. 2. You can forgive without reconnecting. Here's where a lot of people get stuck. They think forgiving someone means they have to invite them back into their life, to reconcile, to rebuild the bridge. But Stoic forgiveness doesn't work like that. It says, I no longer carry hate in my heart, but I still choose distance. Forgiveness and boundaries are not opposites, they're partners. Marcus Aurelius didn't say, let everyone in. He said, when someone has done you wrong, move on without hatred. You can forgive and block the number. You can forgive and decline the invitation. You can forgive and walk away. Because forgiveness is something you do internally. It's not about their peace, it's about yours. 3. Why holding on hurts you more than them? Here's a question worth asking. What is your resentment actually costing you? Maybe it's mental clarity. Maybe it's your ability to trust again. Maybe it's keeping you trapped in a version of yourself that no longer reflects who you want to be. Stoicism teaches us that our peace should not be held hostage by anyone else's behavior. Epictetus said, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. That doesn't mean you caused the harm. But it does mean you have the power to stop reliving it. Your mind is your temple. Why let someone else live there, rent-free, with bitterness? Forgiveness is the act of reclaiming that space. 4. Forgiving yourself is the hardest and most important part. Now, let's turn the mirror inward. Sometimes the person we struggle to forgive isn't someone else. It's ourselves, for the decisions we made, the people we hurt, the moments we betrayed our own values. Stoicism doesn't ask us to ignore our mistakes. It asks us to learn from them and move forward with clarity. Seneca wrote, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. So if you're holding on to guilt, here's your invitation. Reflect. Acknowledge what happened. Make peace with the past, not by rewriting it, but by learning from it. You are not your worst moment. You are what you choose next. Forgiving yourself is how you free yourself to become someone better. 5. The practice of daily release. Forgiveness isn't always a one-time decision. Sometimes it's a daily practice, a quiet reminder, I will not carry this today. You may need to repeat it. You may feel resistance. That's okay. The Stoics trained for this, daily. Just as they practiced gratitude, presence, and discipline, they also practiced emotional detachment from what was no longer useful. And holding on to bitterness, that's dead weight. Your job isn't to erase the past, it's to stop letting it own your future. So here's what I want to leave you with. Who do you need to forgive? Not for them, but for your own peace. And what would your life look like if you stopped carrying that weight? If you're ready to start that process, just start. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to wait for an apology. You don't even need the perfect words. You just need the willingness to let go. One breath at a time, one choice at a time, one release at a time. And if you want to keep building emotional strength, stoic clarity, and deep peace, subscribe. Because forgiveness isn't forgetting what happened, it's remembering who you are, beyond the wound. There comes a moment in every life where we must decide, do I stay stuck in what broke me, or do I rise and move forward? Not out of denial, not out of revenge, but out of a quiet, unshakable belief that peace begins with me. You see, healing is not something the world gives you. It's something you build, brick by brick, within yourself. And that journey, it begins right now. Let's talk about what it really means to move forward, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. This is the art of walking ahead with grace, with purpose, and with power. 1. Inner peace. The strength that doesn't shout. In a world constantly shouting at you, telling you what to chase, what to fear, what to regret, it takes radical courage to say, I am enough, right here, right now. Stoicism teaches us that contentment is not found in the next promotion, the next relationship, or the next apology. It's found within, in the quiet acceptance of the present, in choosing to respond with calm rather than chaos. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who led during war, plague, and betrayal, wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." So the next time life pulls you toward panic or comparison, pause and ask, what part of this is truly within my control? That question alone will set you free. 2. You are not meant to walk alone. Now hear this clearly. Inner peace doesn't mean isolation. Stoicism is not about going through life cold and disconnected. In fact, the Stoics deeply valued community. They believed that we are meant to walk together, to help one another rise. Seneca said, "There is no enjoying the possession of anything valuable unless one has someone to share it with." So take inventory of your circle. Who lifts you when you're low? Who reminds you of your strength when you forget? And who, let's be honest, only drains you? Moving forward means making intentional choices about who surrounds you. It means building a network of people who see your growth, honor your values, and help you hold your peace on the hard days. If you don't have that yet, start small. Find one person, one conversation, one safe space. That's how a support system begins. One connection at a time. 3. From wounds to wisdom. The gift of growth. Let's talk about pain. Not to dwell in it, but to reframe it. What if your hardest chapters weren't the end of your story, but the beginning of your evolution? Every setback you faced, every door that slammed, every person who left you doubting your worth, it all holds one question. What is this trying to teach me? The Stoics believe that obstacles are not just tests, but teachers. Epictetus reminded us, difficulties are things that show a person who they are. So the next time you face rejection, loss, or disappointment, don't ask, why me? Ask instead, how can this shape me into someone wiser, stronger, kinder? Growth is not always loud. Sometimes it's as quiet as choosing not to react, as subtle as a changed perspective, as powerful as saying, this time I will respond differently. 4. The Stoic way to move forward, moving forward. The Stoic way doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It means learning from them, holding space for them, but not letting them take over the wheel. It means waking up each day and choosing peace, even if yesterday was hard. Choosing progress, even if it's slow. Choosing purpose, even if the path is still unfolding. Remember this: you are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by what you do next. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need the courage to take the next right step. So here's my question to you. What does moving forward look like for you today? Is it a boundary you need to set? A habit you need to break? A voice you need to stop listening to? Whatever it is, choose it. Because forward isn't just a direction, it's a decision. And if this video resonated with you, if you're ready to embrace peace, resilience, and personal growth through Stoic wisdom, subscribe. This isn't just a channel, it's a journey, and you're not alone on it. So take a deep breath, look ahead, and take that next step. Your future self is already waiting.